So the concrete mix that we made earlier was correct. The right amount of water in there, and it was easy to mix, relatively easy to work with. But what we've done here is we're going to make two more filters, the filter bodies, one with a very wet mix, this one, and one with a mix that's quite dry. So the reason we add water to concrete or to cement is to trigger the chemical reaction that occurs and bond everything together. The other reason we add it is that it helps to make the mix workable, easy to work, easy to pack into a mold. So you think, well, we add more water because it helps the chemical reaction, makes it easy to work. But the problem with that is if you add too much water, the finished concrete ends up being quite weak, because all of that space in the mix that the water took up is now gone. So you end up kind of with voids and a weaker concrete mix. A dry mix can be really quite strong, but it's very hard to compact. You can't get it compacted. There's probably enough water in there for the chemical reaction to occur, but it just makes it very hard to work. So we're going to pour these two filters, one with a very, very wet mix and one with a quite dry mix, and then we'll see the finished result when we demold. So we're going to put our very wet mix into this mold. It's going to pour in very easily because it's almost like soup, so it should just pour in. We don't really need to do as much of the tamping. You see, it sort of pours rather than pour where we're having a shovel, and it just flows in. One of the problems with this is that because the mix is so wet, we start to lose water and we start to lose the cement, which we need to bond everything together. So we'll see in all of the cracks, the joints, water will start to appear, and that water is carrying out the cement. It should be bonding the concrete together. Alright, I will rod it, and we'll go through the process. So you see the rod just sinks. It's so wet that it just sinks. And what may happen now is that by rodding, we drive the gravel to the bottom of the mould, because we don't want to. So the bottom of the mould, we now see this water dripping out. So it's coming out around the nose plate. It's coming out in the seams of the mould, along the sides, along the base. And it's not just water, it's water and cement. So it's carrying away the cement that we actually need to bond the concrete together. So this is another issue with having a very wet mix. So you can see this is a much wetter mix. It doesn't take nearly as much effort to get it in here, but we're probably not going to have a great filter when we finish. So we've now filled this one. This had a very wet mix. You see it's still very sloppy, but the amount of water that's coming out is a concern in carrying away the cement that we actually need to have in the mix. Okay, so this mould we're going to fill with the dry mix that we prepared earlier. So we had the correct mix, very wet mix, and now we're going to do it with the drier mix. So this one will be quite hard to work. We'll have a lot of water in here, which makes it harder to work. But we can still try. Filled this one with the fairly dry mix. It took quite a lot of rodding and beating with a hammer. So we're now got it filled a little bit high, and we'll pack this in. We'll continue tamping it down to try to get it to compact well, and we'll see how this one turns out.